Breaking news, Trump just got in a fight with Zelenskyy in the Oval Office. Let's talk about
She's Ruby Dickulous. She's Ruby Dickulous. She's Ruby Dickulous. Please welcome the mouth of the South, Ruby Dickulous.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ruby Dickulous Show, where, we'll just figure it out as we go along. I've been wanting to post to YouTube for a very long time. I started in 2009 when I drew a friend of mine's blood, and then he drank it, and that was before it was banned on YouTube. So here I am back 15 years later. Welcome to the show. So today I want to cover a really special topic that just happened. Apparently President Zelenskyy was invited to the White House to meet with Trump and Vice President Vance. And take a look at this because it's a little insane. It's a little insane. Let's watch.
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to...
Count one.
Okay. So apparently he hasn't been to Ukraine. He hasn't been to Ukraine.
I've actually watched and seen the story.
Okay, so he's seen it on TV, like we all have.
What happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all,
I mean, he does kind of come across as an arrogant shit.
during the war, has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You
Don't-
will not
you
have a
gotta-
war.
Okay, so this is where Trump loses it.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
I'm not
You're
dictating.
in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influenced.
We're going to feel
I'm-
very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you.
Okay,
strong.
but what does he mean by influence? Do you know what I mean? Like, what does he mean by influence? Because we're already losing a lot of ground with the sanctions. The sanctions didn't work on Russia. They left. We kicked them off the SWIFT payment system, and then they are creating their own amongst BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China. I think 13 more countries have joined. So
Will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the
bad
very
position,
beginning
and
of
he
the
happens
war.
to be right about
From the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I was
You don't
in
have the
it.
cards right now.
I'm playing
But
cards.
right now, you don't.
I'm very
Yeah, you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What do you-
III.
what do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III.
and he is. I still don't know how I feel about Trump going with China and Russia because, I mean, we can't really have a World War III if we're doing trade with them, right?
And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's
with all
backed you
respect to your
far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting, have
today.
you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You
Okay,
went-
so he has said thank you a lot, but also Biden. Biden had a problem with him. So apparently Biden in 2022, he there was a big press article specifically Biden loses temper with Zelenskyy in June when he kept asking for more aid. So apparently Biden had just finished telling Zelenskyy that he was going to greenlight another $1 billion in military assistance when he started listing more things that he needed. So that's not grateful. So it seems like there's been an ongoing problem here. Let's keep listening.
To Pennsylvania and campaign for the opposition in October, offer some words of appreciation for the United States.
Okay, so this is where I have a problem with that. So basically, because Zelenskyy campaigned with Harris, because the money train was going to continue with Harris, now they're kind of retaliating against him, which it's not. I mean, what did we expect Trump to do? He's crazy.
States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No.
Can
You've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking.
You've-
Your country is
Okay, I mean, Trump is a bully. We know that. That's nothing new.
in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this.
I...
You have a damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You
a lot of
We
money.
gave
for
you
your
military.
That's a lot of money. For 3 years? It's like a kid. Imagine if you just gave your kid, because it is a fraction. And I keep seeing people go, well, it's a fraction of our budget. But our budget needs to be fractionated. So this is money that we can save. Just like you shouldn't be buying the Starbucks. This is our Starbucks.
Equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave, but they had to use our military.
Yes. What about
if you didn't have our military equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
Okay, here's my problem. This war didn't just start when Putin invaded. All right, so let's get that clear. Actually, it started in 2008 when we were going to introduce Georgia to NATO, and Russia invaded Georgia, and most Americans didn't even care in 08. And then in 2014, we'll talk about it. Let's look.
Less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of
accept
times
that there,
thank you
accept
to
that,
American people.
accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the
Okay.
American media. When
All right. So here's my concern. America's not in the best position. We're just not. America has kind of left ourselves out there in the dark, all in the claim that we're going to save democracy. Well, honey, democracy's on life support. But let's break it down. Now, we're all taught that democracy was the gold standard. It's the American dream. It's supposed to be one person, one vote, power to the people, yada, yada. But Aristotle, yes, the toga-wearing philosopher Aristotle, which was 350 BCE, so over 2,000 years ago, he warned us, republics decline into democracies, and democracies denigrate into despotisms. Translation, democracy starts to collapse as a good idea. It collapses into mob rule, and then bam, tyranny. And guess what? The U.S. just speed ran the entire cycle, but with using Wi-Fi and rage clicks. The internet's changed everything. Our founding fathers designed a system to move slowly. Democracy is deliberate with checks and balances and reasoned debate. But they never saw it coming. They never saw TikTok coming. George Washington didn't know how to scroll TikTok, But right now, the decisions are made by whoever yells the loudest and whoever gets the most retweets or re-X's or whatever the fuck we're calling them now. Facts don't matter. There's no baseline in facts. Memes matter. People put more weight into memes than they do in facts because the media has sold out to the corporations that take the same money our politicians take. So we live in a corporate police state. We live in a corporatocracy. This isn't a republic or a democracy anymore. Social media turned democracy into a reality show. Except instead of voting people off the island, we're electing them into office. But mob rule is here. It just doesn't look like it used to because it's been digitized. You know, we used to use armies and weapons and an actual plan to overthrow a government. Now you just need enough people dumb enough to believe whatever viral garbage that gets put on their feed. Trump didn't create this mess. He's just figured out how to weaponize it. And he's also a symptom. The strong man has happened over thousands of years of democracy. And if it was that important, and if Trump was that seriously a threat to democracy, which it seems like he was, did we have to run a non-primaried candidate? Did the Democrats not think about primarying a candidate? We knew what we were dealing with. It's the biggest threat. Well, you threw someone in at the last 90 days. You thought it was going to be like the UK. It's not. It's America. And listen, this isn't just about one guy. It's not about Trump. The left does it. The right does it. Crypto bros, flat earthers, the Swifties. Okay, maybe not the Swifties, but you get the point. The internet rewards rage. Every viral moment, every outrage cycle, every comment section fight, it's all fueling the mob. Does our system even work anymore? Do people believe in it? Because that's what everything is, a belief system. The Electoral College was supposed to prevent mob rule. Our founders put it there for that reason. But what happens when the mob's online, 24/7, mainlining information like it's Adderall, if they can find it? At this point, Americans can't even agree on basic facts. Yes, gravity exists. The sky is blue. And Ukraine is literally under martial law. And America's never declared martial law during a war. So why can't they vote? Half the country thinks the other half's actively trying to control them in America. So what is wrong with Ukraine holding elections? That's my problem. You know, do we need safeguards, a filter for misinformation? Or brace yourself, do we actually need less democracy? Where are we in the Dickulous cycle? The Greeks figured this shit out 2,000 years ago. Governments don't evolve, they repeat. Monarchy turns into tyranny. Tyranny turns into aristocracy. Aristocracy turns into oligarchy. And then oligarchy turns into democracy. Democracy falls to mob rule and then back to tyranny. Does that sound familiar? Every democracy eventually eats itself alive. Rome fell. France, guillotines. And now America's in its flop era. Meanwhile, America's institutions are weaker than ever. And our democracy, it's running on fumes. At this point, we're just waiting for the next strongman to take over. Oh, wait, he did. The big question is, does the U.S. survive this? Or what happens next? Do we pull back? Or is this the beginning of the end? I mean, there's one, we could reverse course, reinforce our institutions and improve education and touch some goddamn grass. Or there's a reality check. We go into full tyranny because that's where we're headed. Power has consolidated, not just under the Trump presidency. It's consolidated under Bush. It's consolidated under the Patriot Act, under Obama. They all signed executive orders. And then Trump signed a bunch of executive orders, and then then Biden reversed them. And then the goddamn Trump has gone apeshit on the executive orders. It is scarily possible that America is already a corporate feudal state because billionaires and big tech already own everything. The government will collapse as it is. But if you've got a high Uber rating and you're selling stuff on Amazon, you know, you might survive. Because reality check, honestly, this might be happening. What can we do about it? Dickulous isn't a prophecy, it's a warning. Every civilization ignored the signs and repeated the cycle. So are we going to be the first to break it? Are we too far gone? Or are we slow down history as long as it doesn't repeat itself? Now, drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think America is able to be saved? Or do you think it's functioning as intended? Make sure you subscribe to my channel. This is all new to me. I've been wanting to do this for a really long time. Except for that time I drew my friend's blood and he drank it and YouTube kicked me off. I'm back. So Subscribe and click the notifications. I'm going to drop a new episode every Saturday at noon.